Ravens fan, the loss to the Steelers left a lot of people frustrated, right? But what really caught attention was John Harbaugh's reaction in the post-game press conference. He didn't hide his disappointment and, in a very direct way, talked about the team's mistakes and what needs to change. And what he said was truly unexpected. You'll be surprised by the coach's stance and how he's handling the challenges of the season. Stick with us until the end, because we're going to tell you everything about what Harbaugh really thinks of this tough stretch and how he plans to turn things around. Go Ravens! John Harbaugh made it clear that he's frustrated with the penalties the Ravens have been committing, especially on offense. He pointed out how these penalties put the team in tough situations, like when they're facing 1st and 20 or 2nd and 19. These infractions not only delay progress, but also make wins harder to come by. Harbaugh emphasized that the team has the talent to avoid these situations, but the penalties are undermining their chances of success. He also mentioned special teams penalties, like holding on punt returns and infractions during kickoffs. Harbaugh stated that these penalties are unnecessary and happen due to technical errors, something that's worked on during practice. For him, these mistakes cannot continue as they set the team back and increase the players' workload. Finally, the coach was straightforward. He takes responsibility for the team's failures. Using the famous phrase, "the buck stops here," Harbaugh assured that he will take all necessary steps to correct these errors. He knows that if the team wants to stay competitive, they need to start eliminating these penalties. And while the team works on that, the focus is also on the defense, especially with two players gaining attention. In the press conference, Harbaugh talked about the defensive changes, highlighting the strong performance of Kyle Hamilton and Darius Washington. With Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson sidelined, the two young safeties have stepped up as leaders in the secondary, and Harbaugh praised their performances. He mentioned how Darius, in particular, earned the chance to play all 78 defensive snaps against the Steelers, showing that his dedication in practice and previous games prepared him for this moment. Hamilton, for his part, was also praised for his defensive work and effective communication with teammates. Harbaugh did not hesitate to confirm that this duo will be a formula moving forward, making it clear that even with the absence of the veterans, the defense can count on these two players. Both have shown great competence in the backfield, and Harbaugh believes this combination has been effective. The confidence in Hamilton and Washington is so strong that the coach didn't rule out the possibility of them becoming the team's main safety duo in the future. Although Harbaugh made it clear that there is still room for adjustments and other options on the roster, the Hamilton-Washington safety duo should be a fixture in the upcoming games. The team is focused on improving the defense, and these two young players have shown themselves to be an important part of that process. And you, fan, do you think Hamilton and Washington have the potential to be the Ravens' future safety duo? Drop a comment if you believe they can keep up this level of performance. Let's discuss this in the comments. Speaking of confidence in veterans, one of the biggest figures on the team, Justin Tucker, is still facing challenges. One of the questions that caused a lot of buzz was about the possibility of the Baltimore Ravens bringing in competition for Justin Tucker, especially after his misses in the game against the Steelers. With 2 missed field goals, many fans began questioning whether it was time to bring in someone to challenge him. But Harbaugh was very clear. There are no plans for that. For him, the best option now is to focus on helping Tucker regain his form, as he is still one of the best kickers in the league, with a solid career and multiple records. The trust in the kicker remains intact. Harbaugh also pointed out that the team isn't considering bringing in competition because there is no other kicker available who can provide the same security as Tucker. In other words, he believes Tucker has all the potential to overcome this rough patch and return to being the clutch player he's always been. Harbaugh also mentioned that when Tucker nailed the 54-yard field goal against the Steelers, everyone saw that the real Justin Tucker is still there. While the team works to help the kicker recover, Harbaugh's message is clear. He is still the best for the job. Tucker may have faltered in some moments, but the focus now is to help him bounce back and shine again. Now, as the team relies on Tucker to move forward, injuries continue to be a concern for the Ravens. Well, we've passed the halfway point of our video, but I noticed you haven't liked the video yet. It's very important for YouTube to keep showing my content to you, so I can keep bringing you more. So, go ahead and hit that like button, it's free. Thanks. Let's keep going. Harbaugh didn't bring any major updates about the injuries affecting the team, but he made it clear that monitoring is ongoing. One of the main focuses is the recovery of Roquan Smith, who is being closely watched, and the coach hopes he can prepare for the next game. However, Harbaugh didn't provide details on other players' conditions, such as cornerback Arthur Mallett, who suffered an injury the previous week and missed the game against the Steelers. The good news is that Mallett shouldn't need to go on injured reserve, but his situation is still being evaluated. The only more concrete update came about defensive tackle Michael Pierce, who is still recovering after being placed on the injury list. Harbaugh said that when Pierce is ready, he will be cleared to return to the team, meaning he has a chance to come back this season. This is good news, as Pierce is an important player on the defensive line, and his return could further strengthen the Ravens' defense, which already has solid pieces but needs more consistency. Although the team still needs to deal with some injuries, Harbaugh appeared optimistic about the return of some players. The priority now is to ensure everyone recovers in time to help the team in the coming weeks. And while the defense deals with injuries, the Ravens are facing a challenge in another area of the game: discipline. John Harbaugh wasn't afraid to be blunt when talking about the penalty issue that's been hurting the team. He mentioned that the excessive penalties, especially in critical moments, are slowing the team's progress. He highlighted the penalties committed by the offense, which frequently put the team in 1st and 20 or 2nd and 19 situations, as well as the special teams penalties, which have been unacceptable. Harbaugh was emphatic in stating that these penalties are the result of technical mistakes, which can be corrected with more focus and discipline. The coach didn't hold back criticism of errors in special teams, such as the misalignment on kickoff returns and the failed attempt at a punt return block. Harbaugh stressed that the players know what needs to be done to avoid these penalties, and it's his responsibility to make sure everyone is focused on improving. He also emphasized that these mistakes are not acceptable and must be corrected, as they hurt the team and make the job harder than it should be. Harbaugh made it clear that the solution is in the hands of the players and coaching staff. The team is making an effort, but penalties are a problem that needs to be fixed. And as the team works to improve discipline, attention now turns to overall performance and expectations for the upcoming weeks. So, fan, now you know what John Harbaugh really thinks about the team situation and the adjustments he hopes to make. The pressure is on, but his message is clear. Changes need to happen, especially when it comes to penalties and discipline. And with the team adjusting and learning from mistakes, who knows, maybe the future will be brighter? And you, fan, do you think the Ravens will fix these problems before it's too late? Drop a comment if you're optimistic or if you still see a lot of room for improvement. Let's discuss this in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. See you next time.